Thank you so much for tuning in to this presentation from the Black Student Coalition. Today, we are here to provide a bit of a recap of everything that has gone on with our work thus far, and to remind everyone that this fight is not over. So a lot of you all may have some idea of what's been going on with the Black Student Coalition, but they may not be fully aware, especially if you're first years and are just coming onto campus in the middle of this. So we want to provide a little bit of background as to how we got started and where we are now. So back in 2019, 2 years ago, the Student Government Association, RCSGA and WCGA, released a joint resolution calling for the names of Ryland and Freeman Halls to be changed. So this has been an ongoing effort by students, even before this, of students feeling uncomfortable with these names being on our buildings and just really disturbed by the namesakes that our university is honoring. In 2019, also another instance of the racialized history on our campus, a Legion article was released announcing that evidence has been found to suggest that there's a burial ground of enslaved people underlying our campus. And a report on this was released by a grad student in December of 2019. Fast forward to this year in February, President Crutcher released an email announcing that Ryland and Freeman's names would not be removed from these campus buildings. And this was kind of the ultimate spark that really got Black students to mobilize. And on March 4th, 2021, we finally released the Protect Our Web statement, a statement on Black student welfare. When this statement was released, it was signed by over 100 Black students. We want to acknowledge that the refusal to remove the names of Robert Ryland and Douglas L. Paul Freeman is simply one example of the ways that this university has disrespected Black students and upheld a white supremacist institutional culture. In the Protect Our Web statement, we also mentioned several other ways in which the university has failed Black students in addition to the decision about the names. For example, the university has greatly diminished the work of the Race and Racism Project when it was restructured and the project archivist position was eliminated. Students have been advocating for an independent multicultural house for years now. The multicultural space that we were given was ultimately placed in the former Whitehurst game room, which does not provide sufficient space for gathering and serving other social and academic functions. The Africana Studies Student Committee had to persevere through immense resistance, stress, and strife to fight for the approval of the Africana Studies program, with the necessity of the program being constantly questioned. Resources are just continuously allocated away from initiatives and organizations run for our benefit. Further, we cannot fail to acknowledge that the BSC was formed amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. Last year, students returned to campus with no allotted break time during the on-campus portion of the fall 2020 semester and no available academic accommodations. Black students, who notably make up a significant number of student leaders on campus, were and still are doing more work with fewer resources and less mental space to do so. These are the conditions under which the BSC came to be.
So now we want to take this time to cover what the Black Student Coalition is and who the Black Student Coalition encompasses. So the definition of a coalition is an alliance for combined action for the sake of achieving a common goal. In terms of the BSC, all Black students at the University of Richmond who are in solidarity with the demands of the Protect Our Web statement and its addendum are a part of the Black Student Coalition. There are no official leaders or hierarchical structure, which is why we're all anonymous right now. We're simply a group of students working towards the improvement of our experience at UR, as well as that of Black students that come after us, and those that came before us. We also feel that improving our own circumstances will benefit all students and contribute to a richer, more vibrant Richmond experience for everybody. This is a snippet of a statement from the Protect Our Web statement released last year. We are making these demands because we believe that we as Black students on this campus deserve better. We work too hard and contribute too much to this campus for our needs to be ignored in service of white supremacy. Now we'll go over what our demands are. The first demand reads as follows. We demand the names of Ryland Hall and Mitchell Freeman Hall be changed, specifically removing the names of Robert Ryland and Douglas South Hall Freeman from these buildings. The second demand reads, we demand expanded academic accommodations for all students in light of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. And the third demand reads, we demand the university subsidize off-campus mental health services for Black students due to the underdevelopment and understaffing of counseling and psychological services, otherwise known as CAPS.
When we released the Protect Our Web statement, we said that if our demands were not met within the allotted time period, all individuals and organizations in solidarity with the Black Student Coalition would disaffiliate from the university. We define disaffiliation as ceasing involvement with any university task force, student organization, and fundraisers. And the goal of disaffiliation is to cease all uncompensated extracurricular public-facing work and programming which UR is in turn able to publicize or profit off of. Since our demands were not met, many individuals and over 65 organizations disaffiliated in solidarity with the Black Student Coalition. Additionally, faculty wrote their statement in support of the Protect Our Web statement, which garnered over 200 faculty signatures.
Shortly after our statement was released on March 16, 2021, we met with President Crutcher with a few members of the Black Student Coalition and expressed our concerns and our grievances. On the next day, he announced that President Crutcher announced a statement from him and the Board of Trustees announcing their position would be that the building names would not be removed. On March 19th, the Faculty Senate passed a credit no credit proposal, partially fulfilling demand 2. On March 26th, Black Student Coalition representatives held a meeting with members of the Board of Trustees. And on that same day, students, faculty, and staff silently protested outside of Jepson where the meeting was held.
An addendum to Protect Our Web. A statement on Black student welfare was released. Our struggle does not begin or end with building names. Rather, we remain concerned chiefly with the well-being of students. In order to meet that goal, we understood that material solutions would be the most effective way to ensure the well-being of future generations of Black students at U of R. During the student meeting with the Board of Trustees on Friday, March 26th, as stated earlier, Rector Paul Quealy repeatedly asked the Black Student Coalition representatives present to expound upon the original demands listed in the Protect Our Web statement. Per Quealy's ask, we released our 4th, 5th, and 6th demands, which focused on material actionable steps which stemmed from previous student initiatives that have not been supported to the fullest extent.
The 4th demand reads as follows. We demand the Board of Trustees immediately abandon its plan to name the terrace of the new Humanities Commons after an enslaved person or persons. The 5th demand reads, we demand the Board of Trustees create an endowed chair for the Africana Studies program and begin hiring for all positions in the fall of 2021. And the 6th demand reads, we demand the Board of Trustees release a plan to expand the multicultural space and house the space on its own standalone building.
The Black Student Coalition re-strategizes, and on March 29th, 2021, we call for people to abstain from giving to the university during the You Are Here Giving Day campaign. April 6th, 2021, You Are Here Giving Day is paused. April 7th, 2021, March for Black Student Demands took place from the Forum in front of Holloman Dining Center all the way toward the intramural fields. There was numerous amount of support from faculty, staff, and students to show solidarity for the Black Student Coalition. April 12th, 2021, the Board of Trustees announces the formation of a commission to establish principles on renaming. May 25th through the 26th, You Are Here Giving Day resumes. For this semester, the Black Student Coalition has asked all members of the university community in solidarity with the Protect Our Web statement to remain disaffiliated from university marketing, communications, and fundraising. However, we recognize the importance of clubs and organizations to student life and well-being, particularly for first-year students. Therefore, we encourage student organizations to resume activities starting this semester. This is where we stand now. The first and fourth demands were obviously not met. Instead of removing the names and abandoning the plan to name the terrace of the New Humanities Commons as the BSC and the university community at large demanded, the board announces the Renaming Principles Commission. If the university truly values the input of members of the UR community, then they'll realize that naming buildings after segregationists, enslavers, and eugenicists contradicts the values of the very principles that the university stands on. We urge the commission to keep in mind that the names that adorn our campus are a reflection of our institutional values.
As we previously mentioned, after the release of our statement, the Faculty Senate held a vote on a proposal to allow students to elect to take one class last semester on a credit, no credit basis. They did vote to pass this accommodation, and students were allowed to take advantage of this accommodation last semester. So that fulfilled the first part of our second demand. For the second part, if you recall, we had demanded that the university put a policy in place so that for future semesters in which our breaks were canceled because of the COVID-19 pandemic, they would allow for additional wellness days that would adequately make up for the days lost, the break days lost. However, as you all know, we did return to a normal break schedule for this semester, and so that portion of the demand did not need to be fulfilled. For our third demand, remember that we called for a policy that would allow the school to subsidize off-campus mental health services, therapy services for Black students, because we recognize that CAPS is not staffed and is not staffed sufficiently to meet the needs of Black students. CAPS staff was eager to listen to our concerns, and we are very grateful for that. Eventually, with UR Giving Day, the new CAPS Access Fund was announced. The CAPS Access Fund will provide current use funding to support CAPS in its mission to ensure that all UR students have timely access to outstanding professional counseling services on UR's campus. While we do value this new strategy for improving CAPS services, CAPS still remains under-diversified and still is unprepared to fully meet student need. And we still recognize that this need is there. For our fifth demand, calling for the university to establish an endowed chair for the Africana Studies program, we have seen no progress. Currently, Dr. Ernest McGowan of Political Science is serving as the chair of the Africana Studies Advisory Board. No process to establish an endowment has been initiated, and no search for permanent leadership of the program has been initiated. There have been searches, or there are ongoing searches for faculty in history and geography / environmental studies. However, this permanent chair position, endowed chair position, there's been no progress in establishing that. Finally, for our sixth demand, calling for a standalone multicultural house, we have also seen no progress on this front. The pilot multicultural space in Whitehurst is still opening and functioning. However, no plans to expand or establish a standalone multicultural house have been announced.
We want to reiterate that our fight is not over, especially since we have demands that still need to be fulfilled. We hope that the same vigor that the UR community gave towards the renaming is also applied to these demands. The support that the community has shown over the past year was and still is overwhelming. The BSC hopes that you'll continue to support us until and after the demands are met in order to improve Black student welfare, which improves the welfare of the community as a whole.
So now we would like to make you all aware of some action steps that you can take at this point to support our work. On Wednesday, October 27th, next week, the Commission on Naming Principles is going to be holding a listening session that is open to all students. This session will take place in the Alice Haynes Room in THC. We ask that everyone who can show up and voice their opinions and their support for our demands the names be removed. Further, the Naming Commission has released a poll, a survey, a Gallup survey on naming criteria. The survey has been sent to every student email. Please locate this email and complete the survey. And this is just another way to voice your opinions and your support of our call to change the names. Further action steps related to our other demands and just our future work in general are forthcoming. For now, please visit protectourweb.com for more information. And as always, follow us on Instagram at protectourweb to keep up with all things related to the Black Student Coalition. Again, we really appreciate your support and your solidarity as we continue to do this work. Thank you.